My name is Christian Basel. Years ago, I had an idea. I got myself a TARDIS. Took it to new places, met a lot of new people, took some great pictures, and talked Doctor Who. From Krypton Radio and the creators of the Hanging With web show, this is the legend of the Traveling Tardis. Join me on my latest adventures and become part of the legend. And hello, fellow Whovians. Welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Or for those of you just joining us, welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS radio show. My name is Christian Basel, and I'm counting the days now. I still do not have my TARDIS. Heather still has it in New York City, which is driving me insane. It is like not having your kid go to camp and you just want to know. What's that?
Separation anxiety.
Separation anxiety, I know.
Extreme. Separation anxiety right now. You need to
that he's in New York City, and he's in New York, and I'm just like, I want to go to New York. He's there. Well, he's getting ready for a convention later on this month. I think it's AwesomeCon. But without further ado, let me introduce the panelists that we have here and our very special guest. We have Artist Melanie Dean.
Hello, everyone.
We have Miss Cosplayer Jessica Womack of Song Swan Cosplay.
Hello.
Hello. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce our special guest. She is owner and operator of the Doctor Who restaurant located in New York. Without further ado, I have Shirley Hott. Shirley, how you doing today?
Doing very well, thank you, and I'm glad to be on the show.
Hey, great. Well, thank you for joining us. But as always, we always start off our show with the Who Knew News with Seijiya, and nobody does Who Knew News like Seijiya. So let's have Who Knew News with Seijiya. So Seijiya, take it away.
Guess who I am? All right, here we go. This is an interesting piece of news that I needed to share because there have been new wasps that have been named after Doctor Who aliens. Has anybody heard about this?
No.
Yep. What?
That's right. The University of Adelaide researchers, and they were inspired by all different types of things, and one of which was Doctor Who. So there's a new species of wasp, and they're calling it the Zygon. Because the Zygon aliens obviously consume their host while inhabiting them, and these particular wasps that they found inject their eggs into live caterpillars, and then the baby wasps slowly eat the caterpillar from the inside out.
I just lost my appetite.
Yes. So they now have the official Zygon wasp. Isn't that fun?
And these things were relatively unknown and just sneaking around doing these vicious things to poor little baby caterpillars.
Exactly. Okay. They're not unknown any longer.
I think
poisonous sacs in the mouth.
I think the Australians are happy about it because it controls the caterpillar population.
Yes, actually it does, very much so. They are incredibly important to the ecosystem. Shirley is correct. So,
but not the way they have to work on the ecosystem.
Okay, well,
caterpillars.
Better news, okay? So you will soon be able to watch Doctor Who for free on Pluto TV. Those of us who do a lot of streaming, Pluto TV is one of those apps, and you can watch your TV for free. And they made a deal with BBC Studios, and it goes live in May. They've added a bunch of different British shows, including the Roadhouse, which everybody loves, Antiques Roadhouse. But they are doing classic Doctor Who episodes. So that's it. There's over 200 episodes of Doctor Who that will be able to be viewed on Pluto TV, including episodes with Tom Baker and Peter Davison, John Pertwee, and the first Doctor as well.
Wow, because I know that for a while I was trying to... For a while, I was looking for where the classics were going, because I think Netflix had everything, and then both of them were gone, and I think Amazon had picked one of them up, but they weren't picking up classics. So that's really cool for any fans that are trying to either A, relive those episodes, or B, trying to seek out and, finally find them, and instead of trying to find little clips here and there on YouTube, now they have a place that they can stream it. That's awesome.
Oh, God, I can't even think of the name. What was it? It's Brit something.
BritBox.
BritBox, yeah, BritBox. It's an app, and I think if I'm not mistaken, they actually lay claim to all the classic Who series from beginning to end that exist. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken on that,
I think you are. But Pluto TV, which is an app that I know is available on your Apple TV, that one is free. There's no charge for it or for any of the content.
Oh, good. I don't have to fork out all that money for the DVDs anymore.
Exactly. And then, of course, if you don't have an Apple TV, it's also available on your Roku or Hulu or that type of thing. So that's fun news.
Yes, it is.
The other thing I found in the news was Jenna Coleman revealed recently what she stole from the set of Doctor Who.
Clara, no.
Yes. Isn't that too much?
What did she get?
So
I knew Jenna was...
She stole a piece of the TARDIS.
What?
Yes, she said there's a full-on piece underneath of her jumper, but the props team helped her to hide it on her person. And she has that. She also has a neon sign of the police box, and she has that in her dining room, and it lights up.
Oh, that's cool.
That'd be an awesome...
Could you imagine us being in the junkyard outside while BBC's throwing stuff away? One man's junk is another man's wall mount or treasure or table icon or whatnot.
Stuff for Shirley to put up at the Pandorica. Exactly. That's exactly right. Yes.
Absolutely. Could always use more memorabilia.
Fantastic. Well, also, and my last piece of news is about the Chaz charity event, which is the Children's Hospice across Scotland. It's better known as Chaz. Peter Capaldi supports that incredibly. People are pledging to get their geek on. Capaldi recently gave a full day of his time to meet over 500 fans at the Capital Sci-Fi Con, and he raised thousands of pounds for the charity, and he donated 100% of the proceeds raised from his autographs to children's hospices across Scotland.
Oh.
Isn't that fantastic?
Wow. That is absolutely astounding because if I recall correctly, I think that was around the same time, because I heard a bit of this, that it was during another well-known convention going on somewhere in the UK, where you had a lot of other people kind of going there and having the full convention scene, and here he had done this project instead, which just really speaks to the man, the amount of charity this man has in his heart.
It's wonderful. So Friday and Saturday, May 3rd and 4th, the Chaz is encouraging the public to show allegiance for their preferred science fiction and fantasy heroes, and you just don your shirt, and you can donate £2 or the equivalent to chaz.org.uk /donate. So I thought that was awesome news to share. And that is all of my Who Knew news, and now it's on to fun eats and treats.
Yes. Now, I'm not downing anybody who's left Doctor Who and went on to do something else, but am I the only one that thinks that Peter has really gone on with very humanitarian direction, whereas like Matt and David have gone on to bigger and better things since Doctor Who, and I'm not downing them at all. And Chris has done other side projects and independent stuff. Peter's gone. I keep on seeing things that Peter is taking pictures with people, and he's doing a lot of. And what you said, Melanie, I think he's more towards the fandom and the people. And this is something that I've always said about Peter Capaldi, is that he is a fan of the fans when it comes to everybody else. And I think he's proving it over time and time and again. I mean, the day that he was at the Doctor Who exhibition and he had all those kids come out and he was performing as the Doctor, and somebody asked him a question about Susan. He really not only loves the character, but I think he loves the fans who love his character.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think it's because he was that fan.
Yeah, he was.
So, I mean, he's just a big old nerd just like the rest of us, and I think he really, maybe he's just hit his dream, and so he just wants to share that joy with everyone. I don't know. That's the impression I get from him.
I don't know. Shirley, have you met Peter or any of the Doctors?
I have met Peter. It was at New York Comic-Con. Took a picture with him and Pearl Mackie, Bill, my favorite. Capaldi is my favorite regeneration Doctor. Mm-hmm. Reboot Doctor. They were very funny. I had taken my costume, which is the Pandorica, and I had worn it for the photo op. And then I had placed it in front of me, and they wanted to sit on it. And I had said, that it was only made of cardboard and that it doesn't really hold weight. So Pearl Mackie said, "Oh, yes, we totally understand. We're actors."
Right.
So, and Peter Capaldi reassured me, and it was like, yeah, I was in heaven. I'm always dumbstruck when I meet any of the celebrities from Doctor Who, because they're so sweet and so unimposing. It's really beautiful.
Let me tell you the love I have for this man, and I've told this story at conventions and such like that. I just remember I was going for a photo op with him, and I think I told you, Melanie, and I think I definitely told you, Jessica. I think you were there at the convention. I took the Traveling Tardis to get a photo with him, and I handed him the TARDIS. And if you have a chance, go on the Facebook page. I might even put it up after we premiere this show. I'll put him back into the profile page. And Peter just looked at me and goes, "Aren't you going to be in the picture?" And I go, No. That's not how I work. I want you to have a picture of the TARDIS. And he goes, "Well, what do you want me to do with it?" I'm like, "Do what you do best. Do what you do." And boom, the picture that came out is probably one of the, if not the best pictures I have ever seen anybody take with the Traveling TARDIS, and it's all him. Not only that, and I'm trying to this moment, it inspired somebody on the internet to create a picture of him. They actually made a picture. I think they painted a picture of him holding the TARDIS, and everything is in line. So I know that it was the Traveling TARDIS, and it was this particular picture, and I still have yet to find the artist. But not only that, as soon as I walked away with the TARDIS, he goes, wait a minute, you're not going anywhere. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, "Come here." He grabs me, unbeknownst to the other people who were taking the pictures. Like he wanted a picture with me. He wasn't going to let me go until I got a picture with him. So he grabs me, takes a picture. So I got 2 pictures for the price of 1. And it's with Peter Capaldi. And he ticked off the people and he didn't care. Because he knew I was a fan, he wanted me to be a fan, and he wanted me in a picture with him. So I've gotten both pictures with him. So I want to thank Peter, because I think he's one of the sweetest people I've ever met in the celebrity status of the universe. And I met a lot of people. They're all sweet. But Peter really goes above and beyond. And I think that was just an example of one of the things that I love about him, that he really is a fan of the fans. And I'm glad he was a doctor. But in any case, I'm just rambling on because we got to pay bills. Isn't that right, Sage? Okay. Well, when we come back, Sage, we'll come back. We are going to be talking to our guest, Shirley Hott. She is owner and operator of the Pandorica Restaurant located in New York. And where exactly in New York?
We're in Beacon, New York.
New York.
A highly tourist site. It's gotten a lot of media coverage for its growth and what's become of Beacon. So yeah, we're right in the middle of it. We love it.
Well, just hold that thought, because when we come back, I want you to bring your appetites, everybody, because we're going to be talking about this wonderful restaurant. When we return, continue to listen and become part of the legend.
The Rite of Wands by Mackenzie Floor. One boy, one rite, and a world of deadly secrets that could change history forever. It's time for The Rite of Wands by Mackenzie Floor. When a horrible fate reveals itself during the Rite of Wands ceremony, Mirta must find a way to change his destiny. Forbidden from revealing the future, he is granted a wand and magical powers in order to save himself and those he loves. But Mirta is not the only one with secrets. The Rite of Wands by Mackenzie Floor, available on Amazon.com now.
Authors, filmmakers, producers, anybody that has anything to do with creating independent stuff, comic book authors, musicians. Make sure you take advantage of the 2019 Indie Originals Live Talent Competition, going on now at www.indieoriginalslive.com. This is your exclusive opportunity to become an official award-winning independent creator to use that in your marketing. Enter today at www.indieoriginalslive.com.
Not every phoenix is reborn from the ashes. When dark fairies turn their powers loose in Atlanta, a young water phoenix must overcome her own mistakes to save mankind from wishing itself to Armageddon. Begin Michael J. Allen's epic 5-book series with Ashes of Raging Water, available for a limited time exclusively as a part of the Cursed Lands 20-novel box set, coming May 7th on Amazon, Nook, or Apple Books. Pre-order now for $1 and get 12 free stories as the author's gift to you. Learn more at cursledlandsboxset.com.
Who's who? What's hot and what's not? 2019 saw some amazing new creative talents, and now you can peek behind the scenes at the hottest indie creative artists in this year's edition of 25 Hottest Indie Authors, Artist Advocates 2019 magazine, published by the renowned And I Thought Ladies. This is a one-of-a-kind look into the brightest rising stars in the creative universe. Get yours today at magcloud.com and at andwethought.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Legend of the Traveling Tardis radio show, wherever you're listening to us on iHeart, iKrypton Radio, on iTunes, and I keep forgetting to mention them, but we are on Spotify, amongst 100 other platforms that you can listen to us. We want to thank you and welcome again, and we want to welcome our special guest, a young lady who has run a restaurant based on Doctor Who called the Pandorica Restaurant. I want to welcome Shirley Hott to our show. Welcome, Shirley.
Well, hi. Thank you again for having me. It's always delightful.
We thank you for coming on the show. Now, I want to know a little bit more about you and your geekdom as far as Doctor Who before we get into the restaurant. So, for everybody who may not be familiar with who you are, please tell everybody about Shirley Hott.
Well, I'm a UK native, born in London. Watching Doctor Who since 1963. Started with the first Doctor. Yes, I am no chicken, spring chicken. I moved to America. We emigrated in the late 60s, and I came up to Dutchess County in New York in the 80s, and have been here ever since. Have done a few things in my career, but the best is this restaurant, which I'm very proud of and love coming to every single day.
Great. Where did you, have you been somebody who's been working in the culinary field, or is this something that you said one day I want to create a restaurant based on Doctor Who? Where did this all originate from? You never know where you're going to find yourself. You have to go with the flow. You have to follow your dreams. I have been, for most of my adult life, a server. And I landed in a little tea room in Beacon where I was able to enjoy the other side of my life, which is afternoon tea and everything English. So being here for a few years, I was able to actually buy the tea room. And after that, we continued for another few years as it was. But then Beacon started to change, and the tea room really wasn't conducive to the new residents of Beacon. That's not the kind of tea room. Victorian English tea room really wasn't what they were looking for. They were a little more hip than that. They wanted something a little more modern and contemporary. So I decided that I would just update everything. And during the update, I started to binge watch Doctor Who. I didn't realize it had come back. I'd been a fan, as I said, my whole life. And then when I found out it came back in 2013, I just started binge watching on Hulu. So while redoing the restaurant to make it more contemporary, I asked my artist friends to make the door of the loo, the bathroom, into the TARDIS door, make it look like a TARDIS. Bigger on the inside.
That also. But the structure of the door just was calling for it. And I was going to put up a little sign that just said Hulu. And Hulu was going to be it, with a little arrow. But people started coming in because he was telling them what he was doing. And they started to come in and explain to me how much they loved Doctor Who and their families loved Doctor Who and how everybody watched it together. And I'm like, really? Because I didn't know anybody who knew Doctor Who aside from my family. So decided to go a little bit further and add more things and change the name and just make it conducive for everyone. So people who come here, they see all the little Easter eggs and all the little knickknacks and everything that's Doctor Who. And my tea customers and other visitors that come around don't see it. It's just a funky little Beacon art place.
Do you still serve an afternoon tea during the week or weekends, stuff like that? Because I was kind of looking at the menu and, there's so many delicious things that we're going to have to go further in. But as you're saying that it used to be a little tea room, do you still have that afternoon tea?
Well, we still do all the teas and the accoutrements. We do not serve afternoon tea except for special occasions and private events. We have that as one of our menu options during a tea with the doctor afternoon tea. We did the royal wedding tea. We had a whole day of doing afternoon tea because of the royal wedding. We do it for Mother's Day, which will be coming up. And we did it for Restaurant Week on Sundays. We did afternoon tea. So I do it as often as I can get away with doing it. I really want to do it, but it's not first on the list for most of the customers that come in.
Do you adjust the menu to be more Whovian themed for your teas, for like the scones and for your whole the tea setting?
Well, I do a strawberry rose scone, and I do like a ginger scone for Donna and for Amy. I have some teas that I actually blend myself that are named after doctors and companions. So we sell those in little Pandorica boxes. So yeah, that's as far as I can really go on that side, on that tea side, because as I said, most of the guests that we have and customers that we have are a lot more interested in just enjoying the environment, and the foods that they get from the regular menu are made specifically for the show, or some of them. Some of them I already had, and I was able to adapt them, but a lot of them I made specifically for the fandom.
Now, I noticed on your website, one of the things that I like, it says, we welcome Whovians and non-Whovians alike, so everybody's welcome to this restaurant. Even if you're not into this geekdom, has anybody walked in the restaurant who's never watched Doctor Who and come out and go, you know what, I think you've convinced me to watch this show?
Absolutely.
How many people?
Oh gosh, I'd say 80% of the people that come are Doctor Who fans.
Right.
We also have here in Beacon the largest modern art museum in the world, and it's called the Dia Museum. And we get a lot of tourists in the restaurant because of that, but they're not really Doctor Who fans. So yeah, I'm out there talking to them and explaining the show. If they're interested, I'll leave them alone if I can see that they don't want to know what's going on. And so I'm explaining it to them, and there's maybe a show on because we show the episodes. And they're very intrigued, and they say, yeah, we're going to check it out, and we're going to watch it. So yeah, that really, really makes it all worthwhile. Is converting unbelievers, so to speak.
Because of your proximity to a modern museum, do you play Vincent a lot?
A lot. There are certain episodes I play for newbies, depending on their age range. If they're a little younger, I will do the 11th Hour. If they're more 30-ish in that area, I will do Blink. And if maybe after that, I'll do The Girl in the Fireplace. And then for the older people like myself, those who are into art and those who are looking for something that they recognize, I'll do Vincent and the Doctor. And yeah, they're all intrigued by it. And it's one of the saddest episodes. I hear the music when I'm in the kitchen cooking, and I just come out just so I can cry.
Oh, God.
I was about to say, so you have to stay away from spoiler-free episodes. So that must be a challenge, because those are always some of the good ones.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure what you mean. Like a Demon's Run episode, a spoiler-free. They've all.
Well, like Doomsday. I feel like like the big ones where it's like the finales that are like.
Yeah, but a new person, they don't get it. They don't get it. They'll forget it before they get there.
That's
these
true.
kind of things, it's so new to them that they don't know the characters well enough to hold on to the story of it. So yeah, there are some people that come in and say, "Oh, I haven't gotten to that yet. I'm only on the 3rd season, so I can't watch, Capaldi, or I can't watch,
You just send them in the back of the room. Cover your ears, eat.
If they're early enough, we ask our customers what they want to see. Is there a special doctor that they like? Is there a special episode? Some people, actually pick out a doctor and episode, which is perfectly fine. Others say, no, whatever you want to put on. Others just say, a particular doctor, choose your own episode, and everybody else that comes in after that, it just continues to roll from then on. So whatever happens.
Have you had any Whovian celebrities come into your restaurant and go, what's this? I've got to check this out.
I've not had I've had not those, as you're mentioning, like surprised, like what's this? But I had at one point, Caitlin Blackwood came on an event with me. And she is the sweetest thing. Her and her family are delightful. And for those that don't know, that's Little Amelia Pond. So she came up last year for a whole dinner event, 3 hours with Amelia Pond. How cool is that?
Yes.
That was fantastic. This year we're doing 3 hours with John Davy.
Yes.
And he plays a lot of the different characters and has probably been on the show as long as anyone, because he started in 2005 and is still going on playing different characters on the show. So
he's got job security.
Yeah. We'll be doing an event with him on May 10th. You can find that on my webpage. So we're excited about that. And we've had John Peel has been up here to just for dinner. He stopped by. And there have been, I've even had people from the BBC offices, not stars or anything. They've stopped up, and some CGI techs have stopped in and things like that.
Anybody maybe who's not from the Whoniverse, a celebrity-wise, who came in and goes, oh, I got to see this. Oh, have you had anybody?
Not since, in the tea room, Mike Myers was here.
Oh.
Beacon is a place that a lot of people visit, so Mike Myers had come by. And there's a lot of celebrities in the area.
Uh-huh.
So, no, basically, we're just waiting. Maisie Williams had done a movie up in Poughkeepsie. So I was afraid to leave the restaurant just in case she might pop in. So whenever I hear that there's someone around, like within 25 miles, I'm like, I can't leave. I have to stay here. Because with my luck, they'll come and I'll be out, picking up something that I might need.
Gotcha there. Now, we got 1 minute before a commercial break, but I've got to ask you this question. And if you want, we can wait until after the commercial break. I'm going to ask the question, but we'll take it over the commercial break. So it gives you time to think about it. The craziest thing that's ever happened in your restaurant. And I'm going to hold it right there. Shirley, I'm going to hold it right there, so I'll give you time for the commercial break. When we come back, we're going to discuss the craziest thing that's ever happened at the Pandorica Restaurant and save your appetite, because we're going to dive down into this menu because you're going to love it. If you're a Doctor Who geek, you're going to really love some of the stuff on this menu. When we return to the Legend of the Traveling Tardis, please stay tuned and become part of the legend.
You have more options than ever before when choosing a film, a television or internet series, a book to curl up with, or even a radio show or podcast. Get to know the people who are creating for you. The Hangin with Web Show, hosted by award-winning author and journalist G.W. Pomacher, is the internet's fastest-growing web talk show series. The Hangin with Web Show features professional, yet casual, in-depth interviews with creative arts and entertainment pros. Meet the people behind a digital revolution in creating more quality content than ever before in the history of media. Find the Hangin with Web Show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, or simply go to www.hanginwithshow.com. That's www.hanginwithshow.com.
Famous Faces and Funnies in Melbourne, Florida is leading the way in pop culture fun. From comic books and graphic novels to Funko Pops and collector's items, Famous Faces and Funnies has it all. Rick Shea and the professional team at Famous Faces and Funnies are friendly and knowledgeable. Whether you're looking for toys, props, collector treasures, or a new comic book, Famous Faces and Funnies is your one-stop shop. To find Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook and Twitter, just type at FFF Comics.
Best-selling and award-winning author of true crime and crime fiction, Yvonne Mason is back with a brand new book, The Pink Canary, a book that delves into the life of a drag queen and a marvelous whodunit. You can find this and all of Yvonne's other works on Amazon.com, or find Yvonne Mason on Facebook and Twitter.
He's gonna kill me.
Buy your copy of Pink Canary now.
Hello, sweeties. I'm Crystal Moore. I play the Doctor in fan series Doctor Who Velocity. You're listening to The Legend of the Traveling Tardis radio show.
Now on Amazon.com, iCoin from author Jeremy Mosby. It's an alternate reality, and the leader of the planet iCoin is none other than Benjamin Franklin. When corrupt officials threaten not only iCoin but the Earth as well, an unlikely chosen one must face dark foes to save the Earth and iCoin alike. Author Jeremy Mosby takes readers on a superhero's adventure through this compelling and imaginative alternate universe. Get iCoin on Amazon.com today.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name's Christian Basel. I'm here with Melanie Dean. I'm here with Jessica Womack, and I'm here with our special guest, the owner and operator of the Pandorica Restaurant. I'm here with Shirley Hott, and I've got a question for her now. I know you've had to have cosplayers. You're in the middle of New York City. You've had to have tons of cosplayers, tons of conventions going on. Anything wacky or crazy that's ever happened in your restaurant? Faith?
Nothing wacky or crazy, but we were very honored. No, but we were very honored to have a Make-A-Wish child come up from your area, from Orlando.
Oh.
And they wanted to come here. This was their Make-A-Wish.
Wow.
They're fine now, just so you know. He had leukemia, but he's in total remission now. And I was concerned that he might not think that this was enough. We're just a restaurant. We're a fandom restaurant, but we serve food. We're not interactive or anything.
Right.
So I got in touch with a lot of my friends, and Whovians, as you know, have giant hearts. So a lot of cosplayers came from the tri-state area, and we had a baker that made a TARDIS cake for us, and I had almost every doctor here of the reboot and a couple of classic doctors, and we also had a Cyberman and Missy and some companions, and it was brilliant. I had the mayor here, I had the county exec here, I had the senator here, and Colin got the key to the city, and he got the day named after him, Colin Cash Doctor Who Day, and I put up barricades so that we could have all the cosplayers outside, so when he got out of his limo, they could do the paparazzi thing, and he was stunned. I honestly thought that that he was unable to speak. There was something wrong. But he was just stunned and taken aback. So when he finally got into the restaurant, he was just wild. He enjoyed everything. He was talking to everybody. He was posing with everybody. It thrilled me to no end to be able to do this. It was absolutely wonderful and the best thing I've ever done.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Go ahead, Melanie.
Crazy though.
Well, I actually have a quick little question. I was looking on your website, and I saw that you host from time to time whodunit murder mysteries.
Yes, it's so much fun. We do whodunits, your regular murder mysteries, but in Doctor Who style. The last one we did was a crossover Harry Potter Doctor Who, so it was called Scary Potter and the Sister of Plenitude. So we had that one, and we have another one coming up. Our anniversary is coming up on 7/7/19, which is a Sunday. So on Saturday, on 7/6/19, we're going to do another whodunit to celebrate the anniversary. I don't know what it's going to be about yet. They're always surprising me.
How long do the events typically run?
It depends on how many people are here. They go between an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, depending on how many guests, and so therefore you have a lot more interaction with more guests, so it takes a little longer. But yeah, we usually pretty successful. We've booked up a couple of times, and then some other couple of times, depending on the weather and the season, we've been 3/4 booked. So I always suggest to everybody, if you want to come to one of our events, they do sell out. That we absolutely do encourage you to get here early, get your tickets early. We also do sip and paints, and we do Doctor Who themed paintings for that, and those too, extremely popular.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I need to take a trip to New York, but anyway, speaking of which, I'm getting hungry right now. So let's look at this menu, which is actually, folks, is split up with spoilers, salad, and sandwiches. Spoilers being the appetizers, and the first
sweeties.
thing. Yeah, and sweeties. And the first thing on the menu is fish fingers and custard. And I've got to ask, is that really fish fingers and custard?
I believe, yes. The appetizer, the spoilers, is fish fingers and custard. The dessert is not.
Okay.
Is it an English-style custard, or is it a pudding, an American pudding?
It's an English-style custard.
Okay, I'm making sure. I'm asking for one of our other panelists, Sarah, who we had a conversation about fish fingers, in custard or pudding, and we kind of going back and forth, so I know she'll be listening into this episode and would smack me if I didn't ask you.
Yeah, but they are very similar. I mean, they're based, pudding is based on custard, so it's just the American version.
No, the reason why I'm asking is there was a restaurant that actually did up their menu because they were doing a Doctor Who day over there at the restaurant. I won't say who they are because I don't want to get them in trouble or whatnot. But they did have fish fingers and custard, but it turned out it was French toast and custard. It wasn't really fish fingers. So has anybody tried it and go, ew, I don't like, or did anybody, what's the majority of people's opinions about that particular spoiler?
Okay, well, I'm going to preface it by saying I have both. I have the appetizer version, and I have the dessert version, which we batter French toast.
Oh, okay.
Like fish fingers, and that's served with custard. And I did that because originally, when I put fish fingers and custard on the menu, I did it with a lemon aioli because I didn't think anybody would really want custard with their fish. But 95% of the people who ordered it said, "But you have custard. Can't we have it with custard?" So that just developed into, okay, I'll do it with custard. And again, 95% of the people who have it love it. They do. I did not think they would, but they do. So it's good for them. Absolutely.
I've had someone try it, and they said that it's interesting. It's its own unique flavor. It's not necessarily you love it or you hate it. It's just kind of like right in that middle of, I don't know how I feel about this.
I feel about tofu.
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go. Well,
but the most fans will say they love it, and they love it because they are fans. I don't think they're tasting anything.
I think that is the case because if people, I don't even think people would, if it was on the menu and you'd be going like, okay, fish fingers and custard, I don't think people would even bother. But now that it is part of the geekdom, I think people kind of, it's Doctor Who. We have to eat this. This has got to be part of the thing. But some other stuff I love on the menu, and especially I'm looking at this Sally Sparrow duck salad.
Yes. You get it.
Yes, right? I do. Yes, I do. I love these little tidbits like K9's mini corn dogs with honey mustard, and that just, I'm going to make myself hungry, and I haven't had dinner yet. Unfortunately,
fried potato pancakes.
Yes,
fried potato pancakes. I want to go back to Sally Sparrow duck salad for a moment, and it is a tremendously big salad. Where does the duck come from?
Because
that's on the menu.
It's written in that house where it says duck, no duck, really duck, or something like that.
No, but on the menu, does it not say? I'm not sure. You're looking at the website. I'm not sure if it's on the website. On our in-house menu, I'm going to. Can I read the description? Thank you.
Yeah.
Ledworth duck.
It's Ledworth duck. Does anybody get that? Does that? Because it's one of my favorite puns on the menu. It really is. Does anybody understand the?
I bet
Was that where her friend ended up?
Ledworth is where Rory and Amy come from.
There we
are. In the 11th hour, when Amy is introducing the Doctor to Rory, the Doctor turns around and says, "What's that?" And Amy says, "It's a duck pond."
Oh.
And the Doctor says, "Why are there no ducks? Or where are the ducks?" Well, hello.
You've taken all the ducks.
They're in the salad.
Correct.
Oh, that is bloody brilliant.
Clever.
So the menu is filled with little things like that, just because it's fun. It's just fun.
Okay, what's your favorite thing on the menu yourself? What do you love?
One of them is the Sally Sparrow duck salad. Now, don't forget, I created the menu, so I tend to enjoy everything on it. Many of the things on the menu come from my childhood, school lunch, believe it or not. Bangers and mash is my school lunch, so that's one of my favorites. Satan's Pit of Pierogies. Satan's Pit of Pierogies is really, really awesome. You know, it's nice, got a good bite to it, a little spice to it, because, you know, it is Satan's Pit, so.
Right.
So we heat it up a bit. You know, there's a lot of stuff on the menu that I love.
I do like the fact that you have fried alligator, that you've gotten alligator.
Yep, we have the Silurian nest, which I used to use ground alligator meat and make little egg-shaped meatballs out of them, that kind of thing. But they didn't hold together as well as I would have liked. So I'm using the same alligator pieces that I use for the Clever Boy, which is our take on a po' boy. So yeah, the nest is basically alligator on top of our house-seasoned chips.
Do you find that the alligator is a drier type of meat to have to work with?
No, not really. Okay. No. A drier than what?
Well, I was thinking how you're saying that if it's harder to ground, maybe you need more of a binding agent.
No. It's not that it's harder to grind. And it has a lot of sinewy things in it. But that's what it wouldn't hold together in the fryer well enough.
Ah, gotcha.
So that it would just kind of like fall apart a little bit. So if I'm not proud of a product, I'm not going to continue it. So
absolutely.
I decided to go with the alternative that I used for the Clever Boys, and do it that way. We've added, since the menu that you see online, we have an additional section called Bill Potts Chips Corner. And so we have some items on there because Bill Potts chips are basically French fries. And they are bacon rubbed and barbecue seasoned. Mm-hmm. And the vegetarian version is just barbecue seasoned without the bacon. And then we do pile-ups like Where's Laszlo? Hooverville Porky Pile-Up. And Laszlo is tucked under a bed of those fries. And
oh, no.
Oh, no. Then we have a Geronimo Buffalo Pile-Up, which is buffalo-style chicken under those fries, you know, with a blue cheese sauce. And then we have a Slovene chili Pile-Up.
Ooh.
For vegetarians.
Oh.
And we all know why we've called the chili Slovene, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Beans, the musical fruit.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, now are the chips proper chips, or are they American fries?
They're American
fries. There's a difference.
They are American fries. I have mostly American customers. So a lot of even the traditional English items have been
Americanized.
Like I have Americanized. I have a chicken cottage pie. You don't have those in England, but you know we have it because it's America. And so, therefore, we now have a chicken cottage pie with the mashed potato topping. You know, so.
Well, if you folks haven't gotten hungry enough yet, listen. We're going to be talking about the sweeties when we get back from a commercial break. When we return to the Legend of the Traveling Tardis, our special guest Shirley Hott from the Pandorica Restaurant in New York. When we return.
Joanne Fisher's The Spanish Doll. Secrets in Italy? Oh yes. Her beauty strikes him like a thunderbolt sent by the goddess Venus. When Fiore is given a peculiar gift, a Spanish doll, she is thrown into a whirlwind of entangled passion, money, secrets, and love. Get swept away today by Hangin' with Web Show featured author Joanne Fisher's The Spanish Doll. Available now on Amazon.com.
This is Cosplay Michael with the Hangin' with Web Show. I want to tell you about my friends at Embellis Effects in Orlando, Florida. They've got makeup, costumes, and props for all of your costume needs. And the team at Embellis Effects is helpful and friendly. Embellis Effects is one of my favorite places, and I know it will be yours too. I'll see you there. Or go to embelliseffects.com. And remember, cosplay is for everyone.
How you doing, everybody? This is KG Bethlehem. I'm an author of a new book called Certain Moments of Time. It's a collection of short stories. These short stories range from post-apocalyptic, dystopian, anti-utopia, as well as general fiction. You can find Certain Moments of Time on sale at Amazon.com, where you can purchase the ebook format as well as paperback format. You can also purchase it at Lulu.com, paperback format, and will be on sale soon at BarnesandNoble.com.
Now on Amazon.com. War Calls, Love Cries, a Civil War novel by Mark Berry. Isaac Wells is an innocent farm boy living in upstate New York. His dreams are shattered by a treacherous brother and the onset of a devastating civil war. War Calls and Love Cries is a fast-moving historical narrative. It is an emotional roller coaster ride and a riveting must-read book that you will think about and talk about for a long time to come. War Calls, Love Cries is the kind of book you will cherish for a lifetime. On Amazon.com today.
You know, I'm getting hungry just doing this show right now. I am like starving and I haven't had dinner yet. And I just saw on the menu at the Pandora Restaurant, "Are you my mummy bacon-bound meatloaf?" And I think I'm going to be taking a drive to New York anytime soon. So and just like have something every day on the menu from the Pandora Restaurant. My name is Christian Basel. Welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling Tardis. I'm here with Jessica Womack. I'm here with my friends Melanie Dean, and we have our special guest Shirley Hott from the Pandora Restaurant. And by just chance, if you're listening to us and you want to and you're listening to us on the radio and you want to join us, go to the Pandora Restaurant. .com. We're reading this off the menu. You can actually click on the icon for menu and you can see what we're reading off of here. And we're moving into the sweeties, and I couldn't help but notice the I'm going to say it right. Banacafalata bread pudding. And that just looks yummy. It's banana chocolate chips, coffee latte baked to perfection, and a creamy egg custard. Oof. I like it. I like it a lot.
English could make bread puddings, you know. They're an original.
My goodness there.
We have an additional dessert that we've been doing over the winter, which I call the Ring of Akatan.
Mm-hmm.
It is a maple glazed warm apple cider donut topped with cinnamon ice cream, apple chips, and an apple cookie.
That's it. I'm hungry. I'm going to go. You guys can take over.
Lunch and dinner?
Yes, we are.
Oh, my goodness.
That sounds amazing.
Because now I'm trying to plan out my trip. So I go up to New York, I see family, hook over Beacon. I go to the museum, and since it's the world's largest modern art museum, I know I'm going to have to spend quite a few days. So museum lunch, museum dinner, museum. Okay, I could see how many times I can get to. So I got four times I'm going to eat. Okay, let's go ahead and plan this out. Banacafalata is going to happen.
Lots of hotels in the area, lots of B&Bs, lots of Airbnbs. So there's always a place to stay within your budget. So you definitely can make a weekend out of coming to Beacon because there's so much to do.
We're going to have a Legend of the Traveling Tardis road trip meetup at the Pandorica.
Well, he's already up there.
Yeah, Heather's
road trip.
Heather, Chris, if you're listening, you need to take a road trip and get some pictures in this restaurant because it's got to happen. So, wow. Speaking of road trip and taking pictures, you mentioned you have a gallery inside your restaurant, and several artists have made contributions there. I also noticed, like on the table, there are little TARDISes, there are little snowmen. Do you have a favorite art that somebody has presented you besides the TARDIS Louvre door that you have in your restaurant?
Oh, there's a few things that we have. I have a prop maker who has done the church at Valliere. He's done a reproduction of that. He's done the sketch of the Crephaeus. He's done an awful lot of these sonic screwdrivers and other things. So, I mean, I love all those props. A customer that had been coming to see us ended up making a Pandorica for us. So we have a 3-foot Pandorica square coming out of our wall in the Pandorica. So that's extremely special. Yeah, so there's tons of little things here that I adore. And as far as the artists go, we have one artist that does all our artwork. She's very, she's growing. She was a young girl when she started. It's now 5 years later. She's grown married, had a whole life of her own, and her art has grown with her, and it's incredible. Her styles have changed, and she's an amazing artist. Her name is Alyssa Murabato, and she's just brilliant. So we're proud to have her grace our walls. And it's all for sale.
Okay.
a little plug.
Gotta throw that in there.
Shameless plug.
I throw it in there because she gets all of it. We're just so happy to support her in her art. We don't take commission or anything. So, yeah, I'll definitely throw that in there for her.
And you said you have special events like weddings and such. Has anybody done a Doctor Who wedding at your location or had a reception at a Doctor Who wedding?
We do a lot of bridal showers, Doctor Who style bridal showers, and I'm an officiant, and I have other cosplay officiants, and I have done a Doctor Who wedding, but not here. I did a crossover wedding as they were Next Generation and Doctor Who fans. So I did a crossover, Next Generation, Doctor Who vows and everything, and ceremony. And I was dressed as Jean-Luc Picard, as Captain of the Enterprise.
Oh.
So that was fun. That was a hysterical wedding. It was so much fun. So yeah, we do all that fun stuff.
So for the interior of your restaurant, now that I kind of have a good visual, I mean, seeing the photos online, but also knowing how much art you have and all the amazing things that you have that your artists do, for the upholstery and anything, and the tabletops, that kind of thing, did you ever have an issue, or as you grow, trying to find a particular fabric that you were trying to get, or a particular material that you were trying to have? Is there anything that you still kind of want to evolve, or?
I do still want to evolve. I do actually want to change my tables, but I have. It's not an easy thing to do. The fabrics that I found were exactly what I was looking for. I also want to. There's certain fabrics that I want. I'm going to do the seats. I'm going to do the seat covers of my chairs that are on the tables. My banquettes all have Whovian fabrics. So I have a wonderful one that actually has Gallifreyan phrases on it. So anybody that can understand Gallifreyan can come over and take a look, see if they recognize what it says. If not, I can translate for you.
Oh, wow.
Well, no, and that's what I like about the photos of your restaurant, is that everything is just so elegant. And that if you're a Whovian, you know those patterns. You know what it is. But it's not the complete license where you're seeing doctors' faces and stuff and that kind of thing. You really have gone this beautiful elegance to your interior, to your restaurant.
I did not want to turn non-Whovians off. I didn't want them to feel overwhelmed by something they didn't understand. Yeah. We are, originally a restaurant that became a theme, because I get a lot of comments from the people that come of like, and your food is good. And I'm like, yeah, we're a restaurant. It's going to theme restaurants that the food is.
Forget about that.
And I don't get it. I think if you have the word restaurant in your name, you should be serving good food, no matter what your theme is,
Right.
So because we do get non-Whovians in here, I don't want them to feel uncomfortable. And fortunately, they don't. I end up having to explain to them exactly what's going on. They don't understand. They don't know. Because the first thing we say when they come in is, are you a Whovian? And when they go like, huh? We're like, okay, we already know the answer. I had one young lady in here with her 2 children and a baby. And we asked her if she was a Whovian. And she paused for a second. And then she looked up and she goes, no, we eat meat. So there's you get all sorts of reactions.
Oh, bless. Now, did you think when you went from waitress to restaurant owner to then a themed restaurant owner, did you ever think that you would become, just like with the Make-A-Wish kid, a part of people's lives and really kind of impact them on such a grandiose level with a restaurant?
It never dawned on me. The only reason, as I said earlier, that I even did this was because Beacon had changed and we were no longer a part of the current residents of Beacon. So I had to upgrade. I never thought it would go anywhere outside of Beacon. I really didn't. That's why when people used to say things like, BBC is going to come after you, did you get this, did you get that? It never dawned on me to even think that way. And then when it hit Reddit and it went internationally viral, it was surreal. Facebook, while it was still good, I was getting my reach. I would post a comment and it would go to 65,000 people. You know, it was like I couldn't. The numbers were like it was staggering. It was amazing. Yeah, no, it's still surreal how many people are out there. I just checked my webpage the other day, and I have like over 127,000 views on my webpage. That's insane. You know.
But we're down to the last minute of the show, Shirley. We want to welcome you thank you for coming on there. We definitely do want to check it out, but I think I can't think of anything like this as far as something that is just a gift to the Whovians, that they can go in there, have some dinner, have something that they can relate to, and have a great time. And I'm sure I speak for everybody here. We wish you the very best that this restaurant grows, and I definitely want to come up there and see you guys. Just to recap, folks, if you want to check out Shirley's restaurant, the Pandorica Restaurant, just go out to the PandoricaRestaurant.com. It's located on 165 Main Street in Beacon, New York. Please go in there, check it out. If you're a Whovian, you're going to enjoy this restaurant. You're going to enjoy the food and the menu. And please don't forget that John Davey is going to make a special appearance at the Pandorica, Doctor Who Unmasked, and a special evening with John Davey on Friday, May 10th. Go to the PandoricaRestaurant.com. Check it out. Check it out on their Facebook, on their Twitter feed. Shirley, do you have anything else that you want to tell the fans before we go?
No, just I'm grateful for every one of them. They're wonderful, and we're happy to have anybody join us and watch the show with us, because that's what we do. We just watch.
And we've got just a few seconds left, so let me throw this in here. Folks, if you are in Washington, D.C., and you want to get a picture of the legend of the Traveling TARDIS, join the Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey store on April 26th and through the 28th at AwesomeCon. She's going to have it there. I miss him dearly. Please make sure you take a picture with him. And then the Traveling TARDIS will return down here in Orlando, Florida for MegaCon. He'll be here with the Hangin With show. Yes, all of our teams are going to be here May 16th through the 19th at the Orange County Convention Center. Get your tickets now at megaconorlando.com. Shirley, again, thank you for coming. And folks, we got a special guest next week. It is the man who does the voice of the Daleks and the creative director of Big Finish, Nick Briggs himself. So stay tuned, stay logged on, and continue to become part of a legend.
I shot him down like a dog in the street. Hand to my gun, the only savior you will meet. There'll be no resurrection this time round, my lord. When his sin-stained body hits the cold damn floor, they'll wrap a rope around my neck for what I have done. A cold dead morning shows a blood-red sun. Close my eyes to hide me from this hell. Nothing can save you when you took my Jezebel. I stumbled down to the bayou last night. When I came to the clearing, something wasn't right. 200 deputies all in a line, looking down at the muddy blueprint, looked just like mine. The wrap a rope around my neck for what I have done. A cold dead morning shows a blood-red sun. Cloak my eyes to hide me from this hell. Nothing could save you when you took my Jezebel. My Jezebel. I'd have shot him 6 more times with a wrapped rope around my neck for what I had done. The cold dead morning shows a blood-red sun. Cloak my eyes to hide me from this hell. Now I lay beside my beloved Jezebel.
Now wrap the rope around my neck for what I have done. A cold dead